All right, let's get to know America in Class from the National Humanities Center. This one's a little clunky looking, but there's a lot of great stuff in here. It's a little similar to the one we looked at, the DPLA, the Digital Public Library of America, that has sets of resources together. I should have said something. So you're on this front page, America in Class, and go ahead and jump right to this hyperlink for primary resources. And you'll see again, they've arranged them in a chronological order. So you're going to be going, the big area you would be picking from would be here in the gilded and the gritty. And what they are doing, it's kind of interesting. So they take these main topics of memory, progress, people, power, and empire, and they organize primary resources along those lines. So it might be helpful to take a look and to think about, okay, in the aftermath of the Civil War, how did Americans look back and look forward? How do they promote the reunion of the state? So if under some of these you're saying, oh yeah, this kind of ties into the DBQ that I've written. But let's, for example, I kind of thought this was neat because you're going to see some of the different resources we can use. Was this the one I wanted? Yeah, this should work. Resources, the Crucible. Now, I think this was the one because it had something in here that I thought you would find very interesting. Okay, so under the people resources, they have topic framing questions. So these are the questions they had that allowed them to put these resources together. So the cultural mainstream defined at that time, talking about the immigrants, culture brokers, all this good stuff. So then what you're presented with are 10 resources, but they're actually resources within resources. So for example, when I went down to this one here about Coney Island, and you're going to see that there's a reading guide, and I'm going to click on that first. So the reading guide will tell you that within this information they're giving you, they also are going to include a little bit of a film, and then Amusing the Million, Everybody's Magazine. So an article then that came from the magazine. And these are discussion questions that go along with the resources. So things for you to think about as you look at them. It's really kind of fun. If you go into the link, so this is where it gets a little clunky. You have to go into the link to actually access it. But if you click on this Reuben Mandy at Coney Island, it actually pulls up, see if it's going to do it. Yep, it's thinking. So it's going to pull up actual film footage from Coney Island at the time. It's just kind of fascinating. There's no sound, but it gives you a look at what things were like on Coney Island. You'll see Coney Island at this time in history. So it's kind of fascinating. I'm going to go back out of this film, but they've also provided, to go along with this discussion of Coney Island, then the Amusing the Million, which will take you to a PDF of this article that would appeared in 1908 in Everybody's Magazine. And you could read that primary resource. And they have pictures in there. It's a neat little way to kind of think about history in terms of a broader definition of the people of that time, and to kind of go through, there's a whole section on Ellis Island. So if you're doing something about immigration, you might find some good stuff there. There are photographs to be found there at that link. So it's a little like DPLA in that it puts things together. It's a little clunky in getting stuff out. So again, your best bet for trying to save and to be able to document information about it is going to be, you can probably download the file. I would, at this point, I would seriously take probably the URL that you have and paste that into a Word document like we did for DPLA, just so you know how to get back to your information. So, it's not as sophisticated as, say, the Gale resource, the primary resources, but it's pretty good because there's some really cool things in there. And I just like the way that they try to put things together, and they do provide you some questions. These things may be worth considering as you prepare for your AP exam as well. So that again was America in Class from the National Humanities Center.